Welcome everyone to our June chapter meeting. One of the things you'll notice is I captured some of the images of the South Texas Ecotourism Center from their website, sort of to capture the theme of our speaker tonight. And so those are the images that you'll see in the background from images of the vision that they have for their facility, as well as some pictures during the construction. So our agenda for tonight, we have a few announcements that we will cover. Some of the training that has been published, some volunteer opportunities. We'll talk a little bit about our meeting for July, and then we'll hand over the mic to our guest speaker, Commissioner David Garza. First of all, we want to recognize some milestones from the last time, or since the last time that we met. First of all, congratulations to Jeff Bradley for being newly certified. Hats off to his wife who helped him do it. We also want to acknowledge the 100-hour milestone recipients. Norma Frederick, congratulations. We had John Romero with his bum knee, and he still got 100 hours in, fantastic. Molly Smith, and of course, Skippy Palmer, congratulations. They say that the first 100 hours are the hardest ones. I don't think so, but we'll see. Congratulations, everybody. We have published a list of advanced training opportunities. You'll find them on our website under Our Education. There is simply no way that we could capture everything that might be available out there, but we try to grab a little bit from everywhere, thanks to Teresa. If you find something that you think is interesting, you can check with Teresa or myself, and if it qualifies under our guidelines for advanced training, we'll share it with everybody through our website. But take a look out there. We try to provide as much information about the opportunity as well as a link so that you can find out more information, how to register, and so forth. Our list of volunteer opportunities, we continue to sort of assess and combine everything together. If there's an opportunity that you wish was there, let us know. If there's something that's missing, something that you would like to have us explore, let us know. I do want to try every month to sort of highlight a couple of opportunities that are out there. They might be new, or they're new requests that we received. With respect to the advanced training, I wanted to just point this one out. Aquatic Wild is part of the Project Wild suite of training and opportunities that they have. And one of the things I thought about this is a great opportunity for us to sort of brush our skills and especially how to do the educational part of what we do, how to reach the kids and how to do things really well. This one does cost us $35. There was a minimum of 5 participants that we needed in order to bring this training, in order for us to receive the books and training material. And we do have those 5 participants, which is fantastic, but the more the merrier. If you're interested, let us know. I think this will be just a great way for us to brush up on our skills. And as a teacher, I'm always looking for new resources of how to approach some of these topics, especially when we're dealing with a lot of our kids in our region. I do want to point out a volunteer opportunity from Sea Turtle Inc. They were asking for extra help to make sure they have all the shifts covered. And these are some of the positions that they're looking for. This past weekend, Barbara and I started, we were already doing the Turtle Foot Patrol. I've done ATV in the past, but it's nothing compared to being at the center, meeting with the folks, seeing the turtles, learning more about them. We ended up this weekend basically filling in as a greeter for the hospital as well as an advocate once we learned what was going on with some of the turtles out there. And then we manned the education cart. And I mean, it's just really rewarding to be able to meet folks from across the country and share what they do or what the site does. And this is a great opportunity for us to sort of learn what our partners do, as well as learn about the environment or animals that they're trying to protect. I think that's a great opportunity. Check them out if you have a chance to go out there. It doesn't have to be every day. One day out of the week, a couple of hours during the week, I think is fantastic. And it's a great learning opportunity. I also want to share another volunteer opportunity. Many of us know that the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival is returning this year. It'll take place between November 10th through the 14th. And a lot of the times our chapter has been there as volunteers for the different aspects of the festival. But this year we have an opportunity. We're running or leading the educational program of the event. So not just are we going to be able to help them, but we're going to take a much more active role. And fortunately, we have folks that have been doing this already that are still going to be helping out. Folks like Alicia that have been doing it, but essentially they want help, and so we're willing to sort of step in and be able to do that. What that means for us from a practical perspective, they've already been doing some of the contests from 5th to 12th grade, the writing contest, art contest, photo contest. We're going to help sort of spearhead that part to actually coordinate, communicate with the schools, and so forth to be able to execute on these contests. But beyond that, it also gives us an opportunity to, during the weekend of the festival, have these various tables and locations for us to bring sort of our natural environment of the RGV to the visitors of the site. So things like if you got the talent of being able to do some face painting, we'd love to have you there doing that. We can imagine some things that we might do. Imagine a scavenger hunt or one of those passports that we can give these kids to visit the tables, visit vendors, and they get stamps, and we figure out what kind of prize to give them. Can we do anything to share with them about growing plants, about our native plants? Could we do anything even as simple as a table where we're educating? I imagine the Pelican Squadron having a table there with our winning art and some information about the plight of the pelicans and so forth. All these things that we can do, it's up to us. And so look out for more information, more requests from me for volunteers, ideas, brainstorming. What can we do to help make the festival just sort of a really great opportunity? And so look out for that. And I think that's going to be something really challenging for us. It takes a lot of work to get it off, pull it off. But like I said, we have folks that have been doing it already, and we get to leverage what they've done already to sort of complete this. So keep an eye out for that. And that's our dog agreeing, if you guys heard the barking. Regarding our next meeting will be July 13th. Our speaker will be Orlando Garza. Many of you have hopefully heard him. He's the archaeologist and chief of resource management for Palo Alto. If you've heard him speak, he just simply has this great wealth of knowledge about the battlefield, what took place, when it took place, what it was like. I mean, he just really brings you into that environment. And he will share with us a bit more about what they're doing to try to restore the native habitat out there to really try to capture a part of the history for the valley. So remember that for July 13th. Also with July 13th, we're going to step into the hybrid format for our meeting. What we will be doing is we will have an opportunity for an in-person group to meet at the Harlingen Public Library. They will limit the number of folks that can attend just for safety and so forth, and we haven't figured out exactly what that number is. This will allow us to open up our meeting to the public like we used to before, but now it's going to be, we're going to work with them. They'll advertise it on their program as far as a community opportunity. So this will be something that we can take a look at. Or that will be happening in July. Along with this in-person opportunity, we will continue the WebEx as well. We will have access to their Wi-Fi, so we will continue to do WebEx for folks that can't be there physically. You can still tune into the presentation. If you're one of our winter Texans traveling north, you'll still be able to hopefully engage with our meetings and so forth. Barbara and I will go out there and we'll sort of test through everything. We have this great vision of what it's going to be like, but we'll go out there and play with it before our July meeting. So keep an eye out for July 13th. There does need a change in our meeting time. We still will meet every second Tuesday of the month, but we will now begin at 6 p.m. instead of 6:30. We will keep this 30-minute sort of social period before our meeting officially begins from 6:30 to 7:30. The biggest reason for that is that the library closes at 8, and guess what? We need to be packed up and out of there and cleaned up by 8 o'clock. So hopefully that shift by 30 minutes won't be too much of a burden for everybody. You guys can still make it out there for the in-person piece, as well as to tune in via WebEx. Let me pause there. Any questions on this or anything that I've mentioned so far? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, since I cannot see the chat right now. Okay, I don't see any questions on the chat. Just took a look. Alicia, this is awesome. So ready to see everyone. Oh, Alicia, definitely. I mean, it'll be great to see folks again, and hopefully we can have just another event other than a meeting when we can actually sit down and chat. And so we're definitely looking forward to it. And I think this will be our first step forward. Okay, with that or concluding everything that I wanted to present, we're going to move on to tonight's speaker. And I'll ask Barbara to go ahead and introduce our speaker for tonight.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Cameron County Commissioner for District 3, David Garza. He's originally from San Ysidro, Texas, and he went to pharmacy school at UT Austin and is a pharmacist by vocation. But he has a great passion for the Valley and for public service, leading him to serve on the San Benito School Board for 13 years, and as for the past 21 years to serve as Cameron County Commissioner for District 3. He works very hard to make things better for Cameron County. Several projects he's been very involved in include the Bahia Grande restoration, flooding issues that impact the Valley, and bringing the interstate to the Valley. He's here tonight to share with us his most recent projects, the South Texas Ecotourism Center, currently under construction on Highway 100 in Laguna Vista. And I'd like to welcome David Garza and thank him for being here tonight.
Glad to be here, Barbara. Thanks for the introduction. I said make it one sentence introduction.
That's only like 3 sentences.
That's a long run-on sentence in my books, But thank you all so much for having me. I look forward to sharing with you what Cameron County's vision for this project was from the very beginning. Am I sharing my screen or not?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. It'll take a little bit here. Okay. I practice this. So let me make sure that I get into the right Dropbox. Okay, here I am. Okay. Or is it showing up at all there, Robert?
No, I don't see that. Did you click the share to
Yes,
share
sir.
your program?
Okay. Yep. I click my share button and
So you clicked on share and then you had the your presentation as one of the things to choose to share?
Right.
But I don't think he's sharing his video. He's not on video.
I'm not on video.
You can still share the
I'm sorry.
program
I'm
without
sorry.
necessarily his video.
There's my video, so maybe that'll help. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Share. Up. It's open on my iPad. Oh, I think I. Okay. Just give me 1 second, real quick. Maybe this will help. Okay. Can't open it for you.
Not yet.
Do you have to make him host so he can share?
Well, he's already
Nope.
presenter, so he should be able to share now.
Okay.
Okay, Robert.
Just thought I'd
I-
ask.
I opened my Dropbox, Robert.
Mhm.
I opened the Dropbox. I opened the file, and it opens on my computer.
And then when you switch back
I hit
to the
share, and
WebEx,
it says stack, PowerPoint, copy link, export file, or invite file.
so when you click share, do you see your PowerPoint as one of the things to choose from your screen?
Yes.
And so you select it, and then what does it say?
Copy link, export file, or invite file. Let me make a real quick. I'm sorry, I'm delaying this, but hold on just 1 second.
Okay.
Tech happens
get-
to all of us. It's all good.
Hey, I told Robert I'm used to.
Robert, when he's talking about Dropbox, is he trying to open this from the cloud?
Well, he has it saved on the cloud, yes. And so he'll pull it from there to open it, and then he should be able to
Mhm.
share it once it's open.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe if worse comes to worse, he can send you the file, Robert, and you can present the file and he can speak.
Yes, we could do that. Of course, everything worked great when we were testing, but
Yeah, right.
He needs to unmute himself. He's saying something.
I think he was talking to somebody on the phone at that moment.
To my 6-year-old grandson. Okay. Okay. It's here. I'm here. It's loading. Yeah. Let's see if that doesn't do it. Yep.
There he goes. Fantastic.
Yay, grandson.
Yes.
There you
Okay.
go. We can see it.
You can see it now. Thank you so much for your patience. I know we went over it, but I had my assistant next to me when I was doing it, so it was much easier then. But where I want to start very quickly, and I thank you again for allowing me to speak to you tonight, is in 2016. I need to give you the historical perspective of where we're at. In 2016, there was an item on a countywide election that was approved by the voters of Cameron County to allow the county to be able to collect what is called a venue tax. That venue tax identified 2 projects, which was a multi-purpose center and an amphitheater on Isla Blanca Park, and an ecotourism center in Laguna Vista. What that did was that allowed us to collect 1/2 penny per dollar from visitors from outside the county that would either rent a hotel room or rent a car in Cameron County, which means that most or if not the majority of all the money that is collected comes from visitors that come see us here. That was in 2016. In 2017, we started looking at what we wanted to do in developing these projects. I approached the town of Laguna Vista because they had 23 acres on Highway 100 that needed to be developed, and they needed to do something. That property had been sitting vacant there, belonging to the city for over 20 years. We wanted to help and partner with them to create an economic driver for their development. And we felt that if we could promote this ecotourism center from that location, it would help them, it would help us, and it would help anyone that would visit there. And that developed the partnership. Since then, we hired Megamorphosis, an architectural firm from Harlingen, to help us develop the plan. We started with a whole lot of public involvement in designing what we were looking at. It was very difficult trying to convince people the concept of what we were trying to do, because when we talked about a park, we wanted to develop a nature park. Everybody's idea of a park is an urban park setting that has swings and has, all these other things. And we wanted a native to our area nature park. So it took us a while to convince and develop this plan. The plan involved, let me see, I need to change the page if I can. The plan involved many stakeholder meetings throughout the whole county, not only in Laguna Vista, because at the time we had to go through a due diligence of where we would locate this. It also included many visits to other nature parks in the state of Texas and out of the state of Texas, all over the world for that matter. And the process developed, we came up with ideas. We said, okay, what would you like to do? What would you want to not have there? That kind of process. And at the end of the day, as you can see in the squibbly lines on the bottom, we developed a concept. That concept became the project vision of what we're trying to do, which was our vision was experiencing, restoring, and preserving our native landscapes of South Texas. We went on ahead and developed project goals, and we wanted to bring to light the fact that we're losing plants on a daily basis to developments all over the valley, that we need to promote native planting to increase our biodiversity. We wanted to also have a responsible, innovative stormwater management strategy, because we feel that water is a critical component for our area, and it is the lifeblood of everything that we do. We wanted to help bolster community engagement and the local economy. We wanted to have native landscape materials used in the building of this park so that we could reduce maintenance and water costs. We wanted also to create a space for community gatherings and events. And we wanted to make it artful enough to where it would attract and retain visitors. And we also were looking for an iconic element. And that iconic element has become the observation tower. We also identified critical success factors. We want this place to become a hub for ecotourism information. We want it to be a safe place to visit and be able to go and enjoy. We want to make sure that people keep coming back. We want to keep it updated. We don't want to have high maintenance issues with this place. We want to make sure that we focus on many plants that don't require a whole lot of water or local, labor intensive maintenance. And we wanted to focus on the outdoors. We want to make sure that the public feels that they own it, not the county owns it. And importantly, for the town of Laguna Vista, we wanted to create an economic driver. We wanted to set the pace of what their next 13 acres to the west of us might develop into. And we wanted to make it a sustainable design. And more importantly, and equally importantly, we wanted to make an educational experience for folks that visit this place. The building inspirations that we utilized were from many visits across many, many different facilities. We wanted to create things that were not intensive of having to repaint every year in the harsh environment that exists in that area and the salt in the air that is always prevalent. So we're using a lot of materials. For example, a lot of the cladding is native, locally made brick. The metal cladding is bronze, which I shared with Barbara earlier, and her husband at my office. The patina of the colors is ever changing, so it's not ever the same. If you've passed by that building, you know that it is not a Taj Mahal that sticks out in the middle of a coastal prairie, but it kind of blends into everything. And you'll see that as I pull up more slides. The idea of the concept was that we would have an area in the front, unobstructed by parking lots. We moved the parking lot to the side, which we call the arrival. That area is more of the agriculture-based area. There's more plants there that we consider to be beneficial plants to our area, and their utilization, either for medicinal or for recreational use. And that does not include marijuana. That includes teas, that includes salves, that includes aloe, that includes aloe, which is not a native plant, but is a beneficial plant, is included in that particular exhibit. And then once you walk in, we try to encourage folks to engage of what there is there and kind of figure out where they want to go, what they want to see there. Then there's an element of a transition. And then at the very back end of the property, it's an immersion into what we have at the Bahia Grande. And it's a process that we want to take people and students through. Of course, you all are familiar with the regional ecosystems that exist in South Texas. They're listed there for, just a quick review. The site plan that we developed is what you see in front of you there. There is also like a walking trail throughout the whole facility. There is a bike pavilion on Highway 100 to encourage those bikers that use Highway 100 as a trail to stop by and go to the bathrooms, drink water, fix a flat, visit the center, do whatever. Also, at the very end, which is number 16, we have the Bahia Grande connection. That is what we hope would someday connect to the Bahia Grande Wildlife Refuge area. They are developing, I understand, about 26 miles of trails behind us. The pavilion that we put back there is bathrooms, water, and Wi-Fi connectivity, which exists all over the park. The idea is folks can stop there, take a hike into the Bahia Grande unit and enjoy that, and enjoy all the native things that are back there, and be able to come back and, get in their cars and go to the island. We also have, you see there in the front, the agriculture area. That's going to be the only water intensive area we have. The visitor center will have a large multi-purpose room along with an office and bathrooms, a big foyer in the front that will allow for displays to occur. There's also an amphitheater right behind it to the south of the multi-purpose room. Also, in that building at the very end, in the westernmost part, is a water lab. We are looking to provide some educational training on water quality issues, not only for students, but also for hopefully wastewater and potable water plant operators throughout the valley, training that now they have to go get in places like San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, and other places. So we're developing that along with some of the universities partnering with us. There's a large pond that has been built into this facility. We are capturing all the stormwater runoff from Highway 100 and redirecting it to what we call the Arroyocito, and all of that water goes into the pond. That pond is full today. I was there like at 4 o'clock today. It's amazing what's going on already. There's 48,000 plants that will ultimately be planted there. There's about 38,000 that have already been planted. So, things are moving along. There's a bird blind that can be used for photography purposes or just bird watching right next to the pond. And the birds are out there already. It's amazing what's occurring. There's also a water feature that is directly across from where it has tidal marker. It's a water feature there. There's an outdoor classroom at the very back end on the west side, directly across from the overlook. And I'm gonna go to the next slide. This next slide depicts the areas by the different ecosystems, the front being agriculture. Then we have the butterfly garden, of course. There's butterflies all over already, and the plants just went in right before the rains, luckily, so they've really taken well. Then we have the savanna area next to the butterfly garden, and also on the opposite side of the building. The thorn forest is pretty well in already. The salt prairie is not totally yet set, but it's being worked on. The dunes and lomas piece is already also pretty much in. And the coastal prairie that you see in the back, when we started building this facility on these 10 acres, what we did was before any clearing occurred or any cleaning occurred, we harvested all of the native plants that we wanted to use for the coastal prairie area, and they are in a repository as we speak, waiting for us to finish all of the construction so that we can start planting those in the back after everyone leaves and we know that they're not going to be disturbed anymore. This is pictures of the savanna ecosystem. The region gives you an idea of what plants are there. They're doing this work as we speak. This is part of the thorn forest area. And again, they're working on it. You know, I mean, they were working on it this afternoon, trying to continuously put the plants on. The coastal prairie area, that's some of the work that is being done, and the plants that are already in the ground. The dunes and lomas are already in, and you know, I got that picture a little bit backwards, but sorry about that. You know, let me go to the next one. This is the water system diagram of how all the water from this facility is being recaptured, including stormwater runoff from Highway 100, and being rediverted into the ponding system. You know, and all of the water that comes from the roof, all of the water that comes from the trails, all of the water that comes from the parking lot. The parking lot is a semi-permeable parking lot, which you might have seen in some places, but the rain does not run off. It all goes into our drainage system, which ends up in the arroyocito, which ends up in the pond. And as you well know, lately we've had some large rain events. There's a weird type structure at the very end of the pond, which has been breached already in the last few weeks with all the rain we've had, that has created, you know, ephemeral wetlands at the very back, which is what we wanted to do. So things are working, things are occurring, and you know, we're really happy so far with everything that we've seen. This is an overview, a picture taken from a drone from right in front of the building. If you can see the pond, you know, as I zoom in, you know, back there, you can see the plants that are being planted. You can see what's occurring. All of this was nothing but, if you recall having passed by there, this area was where there was a lot of dumped gravel, a lot of dumped refuse. It was just like a pile of dump, you know. So we've cleaned it up and done all this. All of the front of the building and the side of the building to the left of the picture you're looking at is brick pavers that are semi-permeable also. So we anticipate capturing water that goes there and it seeps down and goes through the arroyocito that's right next to the building that leads into the pond area. And I'm going faster the slides, but if you all want me to come back to any one of them, we can do so a little bit later when I get done. This is a view from the south looking towards the north, you know, and the area that you're looking at directly in the middle of that picture is when they did that overlook, there's a lot of pilings that were utilized. These pilings had to be cut because they could only be driven down like 17 feet or 18 feet. So there were pieces of pilings left. They were going to dispose of all of them. We decided to make use of them. The area right in the middle of the picture was not planned for in the beginning, but I said, you know what, those pilings will work for something else. We had an area that we had identified and we were going to use railroad ties to develop a classroom out there. So what we did was we used those pilings, we drove them into the ground at a 45-degree angle, we cut them to the 22-inch height, which is a normal chair, and we have now pilings that have seating for 48 people and a teacher there. There's going to be a structure there for shade also coming from either side of that piece right there. Okay. The overlook, let me see if I have a better, well, this is a building from the arrival when you get there. The letters there, we're looking, that's probably going to be the only bold statement we make is a color we choose for those letters. I saw some gray today, but the gray did not annotate the center the way that it should be. So we're looking at some other opportunities. This is a picture from the west looking east. You can see the amphitheater. I wasn't trying to showcase the ACs. The amphitheater right there. The amphitheater will hold up to 250, 300 people sitting there. The area in brown between the curvatures and the white area is a cement structure what can be used for sitting. But right behind each one of those is an area that will be sodded, that will be grass, so that if a family goes and want to take a blanket and put the kids there or whatever, they can hang around there while there's a presentation or a performance or a display going on the amphitheater, which will be directly in front. We are not using any type of large shade structures. We wanted to keep it as natural as possible. So we were able to get some huge trees there. Don't ask me what kind they are because I didn't write that down, but they're native trees. Those should be, they're already budding, they're already growing, they're already taking hold. So, it's going to be an opportunity for any one of folks like you all to utilize this space for presentations or any other activities that you might want. There's another picture of the amphitheater from a little further out, looking towards the back. The idea here, this picture is a picture that is looking from the south to the north. The middle of the building, you can see there, the middle of the building is a big wide open space. Okay, right in the middle. That open space is a foyer type entrance. When you walk in from that foyer space from the front and look toward the back, it's an open canvas all the way into the Bahia Grande. It is an amazing view. The structure you see towards the bottom here is a structure. That area that you're looking at, that's green in front of you, is basically a children's play area. Okay, it doesn't look like a children's play area, but that's what it is. We had a hard time convincing folks that we were not going to put swings, slides, and other type of obstacles all over this children's area, but we were going to use all native things that they could enjoy and be able to just hopefully burn some energy off when they go by there. But there'll be sculptures of crocodiles. There'll be sculptures of spider webs in there that they can climb, go around in. There's a number of other amenities that we're working on that are being developed as we speak. Texas tortoise, things of that nature, things that kids can hopefully look at and recognize and learn about while they're there. The pavilion on the bottom is a shade structure. That's a typical shade structure. We're being very minimalist in how we're doing things to not obstruct views and making sure that we focus on not on the structure, but on the environment and that's native to us. There's a picture from a bridge that we have that goes from the entrance to the Bahia Grande pavilion in the very back of the facility. That bridge there's no barriers on the side. We kept the depth of the water there to very shallow so that in case someone falls in there, a child or anybody else, there's no issues. We wanted to make sure of that, make it as safe as possible. We have encountered numerous rattlesnakes in this process. We encountered a rattlesnake almost at the top of the overlook, if you can believe that. You know, it scared the heck out of some workers. You know, it's so, you know, nature is all around us there. This is a view from up on the tower of the observation deck that looks towards the north. You can see uh, on this side, way down there, the bridge that I was talking about. You know, the lighting that we're using at this place is solar lighting in most cases, or LED lighting in the rest that we have to have electrical energy to run them. The parking lot is completely solar. They're all they're not diffusing. They're non-diffusing lights. You know, we're not lighting up the sky like driving into Kansas City at night. This is like all the lights are non-diffusing and they're all focused downward. All the lights in the facility, in all the trails, are there to allow us to be able to easily walk around this place at night with the lights on, but continue to enjoy the native plants and everything that you see around there. So it's been quite an endeavor. We are adding a camera on top of the overlook, on top of this tower, that will be a webcam camera that will be always on and always transmitting something. I mean, whether or not we live with SpaceX, whether we like it or not, is indifferent because they're there. So if we have a space launch, I will be able to, from the comfort of my iPad, once I learn how to use it, you know, will be able to focus on a SpaceX launch from there, you know, and not necessarily have to be there, but be at home, you know, show it to whoever wants to watch on this webcam that will continuously be on, you know. That's a feature we're adding. This is that classroom I was talking about. You can see the pilings and what we did with them, which was, I thought it was a really neat idea, you know. I mean, um, all the trails are crushed granite trails. There's another look from the arrival of the center. This is an overview from way up in the sky of the whole place, you know, of what it exists. And the area on the upper right-hand corner where you see some dirt work disturbed is the area that belongs to the city of Laguna Vista. It goes all the way back about 4 or 5 of those huge light posts back into Highway 100. We have 400 feet in front of Highway 100. They have like 1,200 feet in front of Highway 100. So they've got plenty of space there. And we're encouraging and have talked to the city about making sure that whatever they develop there, I don't think we need any more t-shirt shops. We need more farm to market restaurants. We need more local artisan shops. We need more things of that nature that would arts shops and things of that thing that we could encourage them to build there. Uh, they've talked about a staycation. They've talked about some other amenities that I think that would complement us well, you know. And in the very far background, you can see, you know, the Bahia Grande, the Laguna Larga, you know, way back there. So, you know, we couldn't get our observation deck high enough to get a really good view of all of that, but we feel that we catch the essence of what's occurring there, you know. Let me see. And I think that's about, well, I added this slide too there. I showed it to Barbara and Robert when we were there at the very end, because, you know, we live in a very unique area of the world. You know, we live in an area where the land and the climate converge. Uh, we're temperate and tropical, and we converge those between the coast and the desert, and the Gulf of Mexico to the east, and the gentling hills and bluffs to the west. It includes Cameron, Willacy, Hidalgo, Starr counties. On the northern edge, it runs around along the Rio Grande that flows into the Gulf. And the region, as we all know, is subtropical and semi-arid with long, hot summers, short, mild winters, and only a few frosty nights. Heavy rains and droughts usually occur which would mean that every visit to this center, depending on whether you were in a drought or we're after a heavy rain, you'd see different things occurring, you know. So models of the 4 regional ecosystems displayed here, you know, of course, hopefully will depict these things. The other component that we have also that I have not talked about at all is the component of, you know, this pretty much is a canvas of what we have done. The other component is the interpretive signage that has gone into this, that is being developed for us. Everything is bilingual because we have many people that visit us that are bilingual, and we figured it would be helpful. Some of the pictures that you see here on the bottom of this particular signage, you know, shows some of the native animals to our area. Okay, these pictures right here show you what the savanna looks like. What the, you know, I mean, these are just examples of that. You know, we know what's occurring in the Rio Grande Valley with our ecosystems and the destruction of native habitat and our native areas. You know, we know that cattle grazing agriculture, you know, cities, all of that has reduced the footprint of native original landmass to less than 5% in Cameron County. We know that the water flowing through the Rio Grande and its tributaries is captured to irrigate crops and supply water to homes and businesses, leaving very little flow to remain into the original ecosystems. They are completely dried up now, as we all know. We've seen and experienced dried up resaca beds. We've seen all these things that have occurred, and we have to work harder to restore and bring them to light, just like we did with the Bahia Grande restoration. Many animals don't have enough room to live. We've seen this with the ocelot as an example. You know, it's very, very challenging, very, very challenging for some of these native animals to exist and coexist with highways, people, encroachment from cities, and other things. So we feel very, very blessed that we have been able and entrusted by our constituencies to be able to do this. You know, we are working hard to making sure that folks understand that, you know, just as developing underpasses on some of our highways, you know, there's still turtles that have to cross roads with trucks going by at 60 miles an hour, you know, and sometimes those encounters are very unpleasant. You'll see on this slide, and I want to point that out on the upper right hand corner, a scan button. You know, like it's not a button, but it's a scan for your phone, a QR code. Everything in this facility will be QR coded. Every display will be QR coded. Every educational component that has been put forth has a QR code associated with it, whereby when a person scans it, they can read as much or as little as they want about the ocelot and its habitat and where you find it in other places of the world and what challenges they have living in our system down here. So that's one component. I mean, I've talked to you about that. There's another component, which is an overlay of an interpretive design group that we've hired. We're spending well over $1.25 million to do everything from life-size statues of animals that are native to us and some that are not native, such as a nilgai, which is an invasive species. But we're developing life-size statues so that people that visit and don't get a chance to see it in person can experience it in the best way that we know how to present it, which is a life-size statue replica of the animal that they're looking at. You know, again, you know, there's a lot of work being done for this. It's a tremendous amount of energy that is taken. I'll be very honest, this has been my therapy for the last 4 years. Because when I work on this project, I feel like I'm renewed and ready to go the next day. The other component on all of this is that there is an educational component that has been developed. You know, the educational component is a educational piece that has been worked on by an educator that has done programming of this nature before and is continuing to do it, and decided she would work with us to develop it. But we have developed modules that corresponds to the STAR test, which is the test that 3rd through 12th graders take in the state of Texas. And these modules corresponds to the exhibits that we present. As an example, 3rd graders come in, a teacher can download a lesson plan with all the objectives and the things that need to be taught, so that way, when they stop there for an hour before going to the beach cleanup, they can do their lesson for science, technology, engineering, or math, or ecology, or environment, And these lessons can be a lesson on water cycle. It can be a lesson on animal systems. It can be a lesson on reproductive systems. Those are going to be available free to any educator that shows up. The kids, on the other hand, will have the opportunity to take a smartphone and do a scavenger hunt in this facility, in these 10 acres. And they can run around the 10 acres. And as they do this scavenger hunt and find the things they need to find, they're actually learning about all the different things, which meets the criteria for that lesson plan that the teacher won't have to stand in front of them for 45 minutes or an hour and get across to them, So, and that's being developed from 3rd to 8th grade as we speak, or is developed already, actually, from the 3rd to 8th grade. That'll be an ever-changing component as new lessons come on board for teachers to take advantage of. This facility is free to the public to visit. There will be no charge to visit this facility to the public or to any group that comes for a visit at this center. Okay, that was part. We hope that our audience type will be parents with children, groups of mothers and kids, groups of grandparents and grandchildren, couples, organized groups such as scout groups, preschools, daycares, science groups in science clubs from high schools, homeschool groups with parents, summer day camps during the day, during the summer months. In the seasonal audiences that we want to attract are winter Texans. We want to attract spring breakers. We want to attract surfers. We want to attract tour buses that drive by. We want to attract bikers, birders, SpaceX launch watchers, whatever, We're giving all of these venues a little bit of an audience there in the different things that we do. Of course, the local audience for the locals there is you can go for walks early in the morning, lunch hour, evenings. You can go see birds. You can enjoy the day. You can, schedule an event there. Bicycles hopefully will use some of the trails that we're doing. Inside the center, in the office area, we're going to have an interactive screen that will allow us to showcase many of the other opportunities that exist in the 4-county area to visit ecosystems and nature sites, such as World Birding Centers, Palo Alto, Laguna Tascosa, Falcon Lake, Llano Estero Grande Park, all of the state and national parks are going to be included. And you would walk up to the screen, you would touch the screen, and it's an interactive screen that tells you if you want to go to Resaca de Las Palmas Park, it's going to take you 35 minutes to get there. You can there's hiking there that is 2 miles, 1.2 miles, or 4 miles. These are the opportunities you have. Take your drinks because, you might not be able, there are bathrooms, that kind of information. So we want to be an information hub for visitors that come so that after the second or third day on the island of getting burned and tired, they can come and do something totally nice and a different experience, and hopefully create for our visitors the desire to want to come back. I know that when I visit any place, and I've done my good share and will continue to do once this COVID pandemic is over, the places that attract my attention are the ones that I want to go back to. And we're developing this place as I want to go back to this place because when there's a winter season in place, we're going to see different things. When there's a spring season in time, we're going to see different things. It's going to be ever changing in that regard. Of course, I want to thank the tourists that visit the area, because they're actually paying for all this, aside from some grants that we got from Texas Parks and Wildlife that was very good to us. But, their issue is they always want in-kind money, and they want a 50-50 match. Well, our matches are not 50-50. Our matches are like 4-1 to what they're giving us. So we feel really good about that. The town of Laguna Vista could not extend utilities to this particular project. Cameron County took it upon itself to apply for some grants for the city of Laguna Vista to be able to extend utilities to that site. You've probably seen the utility work going on right now if you've been by there. That's why we haven't finished the front of that place. We had to put in a lift station and utilities from the stripes that's on the intersection of 510 and 100. That project was estimated to cost $1 million. We were able to get a grant from the federal government, thanks to Congressman Vela, for that money, and we came up locally with $300,000 to match it, and we're doing the work as we speak. Um, Again, we are creating a center that is a nature park, not an urban park. We want people to expect to see plants, animals, natural areas, and obtain information about what they're seeing and learn about our local areas and want to take advantage of the many opportunities that we have in Cameron County and the Valley to showcase what we've got and learn about what we've got. And I know I've seen some questions come through, everything about, it looks great, to volunteering. Yes, there will be opportunities for all of that. There will be, we're calling that touch screen that I told you about. Again, we're trying to make it interactive and have kids learn about other areas, also in adults. But we're calling it the Create Your Own Valley Experience Panel. Okay, after you see us here, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Create, you get there and you touch the screen and create your own experience. What would you like to go visit? Do you want a short visit somewhere? Do you want a medium long visit? Do you want a long visit? Do you want a day visit? What would you like to create? And, these are the things that have gone on. We want to communicate the message and build awareness of the appreciation of what we've got. We want to increase visitors' knowledge of where and how to experience the remarkable ecosystems that we have and build support for the conservation of our natural areas. We want to be a hub for folks, especially groups like yours, to be able to utilize to help develop more people in appreciation. Folks walk out of the house and sometimes don't even look at what's green around them, or maybe sometimes they don't have green around them. But we are going to use very many different methods to deliver our messages. We want to do everything from fulfilling curriculum requirements to enjoying picnics to building and using the area for classrooms, the amphitheater for speakers, artistic performances, whatever folks want to do is what we are planning to use this for. There will be minimal charges for after hour events, just like there is on anything. But this is not going to be where you're going to spend a bunch of money to do a presentation in the evening. It's going to be where, we welcome you, and we're going to probably have a fee schedule where, it's going to be to pay personnel to open and close the place and a little bit for lighting. And by that, I mean like $80 or something of that sort to use the amphitheater at night. I mean, you don't get venues like this for $80 anywhere. What we want to do is we want to create traffic and visitors to the area so that they can learn to appreciate what we have in the valley's ecosystems, And, again, our central theme is very easy and our message is very simple to our visitors. We want to retain in their heads and in their hearts what we have. And that's the message we want them to take away and share with others wherever they live in this world. That's the key. We want them to know that we care about our natural resources. We support in conserving our natural resources. And we are, at the end of the day, going to do everything possible to create storylines that will help us or help them understand what we have. So, I can go on for hours and hours and hours. but I don't want to do that. I want to allow for some questions, you know, and and comments, whatever you guys want to tell me about.
Well,
Is
first of all,
anybody on?
David, yeah, we're still here,
Okay.
David.
I says, oh my God, I've been talking to myself for an hour.
No, I think we're all mesmerized by the vision that came into play here. I mean, it simply looks wonderful. A lot of the comments on the chat is I mean, this is going to be an amazing site, and it's going to be fantastic for the valley, especially the way you've incorporated the rest of the valley into your idea. The fact that this is a hub for everything else that is so wonderful about the valley. And I think we definitely all appreciate that. One question that I saw was that the development of 13 acres, I think you mentioned that was for development was to the to the west of this site, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. You touched on the volunteer opportunities perhaps in the future, opportunity for artists to display their artwork. Um, Did you mention, you talked about that one facility inside your building that essentially it can open up and
Yes.
you're inside the
Yeah,
facility, but yet it's just, you can see everything in the back. It's a
yeah,
wonderful
I'm sorry
concept.
that I did not include a picture of that, Robert. I meant to include a picture of that, but I did not. I apologize for that. But right in the middle of the building, you know, I think this picture here, you can see the building, and there's a truck parked. It's kind of blurry, but there's a truck parked there in the front. Right in the middle there is like a huge foyer, you know, a large, large foyer under that roof. To the right of that, or to the west of that, is a large multi-purpose room. That multi-purpose room has sliding doors. Let me see, I think I can find one that inspiration came from, I'll show you a slide where that inspiration came from. That inspiration came from a building that we saw in San Antonio, Texas, at the Phil Hardenberger Park, I believe is what it's called. You see that building right there? The one on the bottom right, okay?
Mhm.
All of that glass, we're doing the exact same thing in our building. All of that glass slides into pockets at either end of the walls, and it opens up. In this case, it opened up to the stairs going outside, which I said, why in the world would they do that? It doesn't serve a purpose. But then we made it better, I feel, because ours slide open and open up into the foyer, which means that the classroom there, the multipurpose room that could be a classroom for 30 to 40 people, opens up, and you can have like 150 to 200 people with those two sliding areas open, which is a great, great facility, a great room. We anticipate this facility being used a lot for weddings, for quinceañera. I don't know, for whatever anyone, would like to use it for. There's just so much that can be done out of it. Um, the open classroom in the back, that classroom there that we have there, you know, when you're there in the evenings at sunset, it is the most beautiful sight that you can see there looking back. So, as we've been building this, they keep calling that, you're building your little church there, Mr. Garza, because you have an altar in the middle and you have seating on the sides. And I says, you know what? If it can be used for that, that's fine. I don't care who uses it as long as it's used. But the stairs right in front of the building, right in the middle, that come down, are huge stairs by the amphitheater. That's another place that can be utilized for many different things. They lead up to the multi-purpose room that opens up into this large outdoor room, basically, because it's all under roof, you know.
Hmm.
And as you can tell from that picture, in itself, the building is not the focus. The building is low. The building blends into the environment. The colors that we chose blend into the environment. What what strikes everyone is the green space around it that is the same as the rest. I'm sorry. I have a tendency to go on and on.
David, this is Jimmy Paz. I have a question. How will
Hey,
the
Jimmy.
new how are you? How will the new highway and the new causeway affect this setup?
None at all, as far as I know. You know,
Okay.
it's not gonna bother me. You know, we don't want 1,000 people every day there. We want, 10 to 40 to 50 that really want to immerse themselves in something, or groups of students that want to immerse themselves in something. We're not looking for volume. We don't have a retail facility aside from a small office with a little souvenir shop. We're still working on developing maybe you guys can help me because we've had a really hard time coming up with a what is it called? A logo for this facility. Like create an emblem that is reflective of what we're trying to do. They've presented us all kinds of things, and I have not liked anything that the professionals have done. Very honest with you. So we've got to come up with a logo, and we got to come up with a logo soon. We are going to do some activities as we move along, such as if somebody wants to buy the naming rights to that bridge that's in front of us there, we will entertain and we'll develop a plan of how we can have a 501c3 organization help self-fund, especially the educational programming that we want to make sure that we do on a yearly basis as far as updating, and also to provide like day camps for children or week camps for children so that they can come, be dropped off for half a day or a day and learn about different things of that nature. So we will be doing some of that, but not a commercial facility per se. There won't be restaurants in this place. They won't be, we're not going to do any of that. That's not the case in point. There is a kitchen, a halfway kitchen built into the multipurpose room, so that if someone wishes to do a catering event, there's a place for a caterer set up with, sinks and refrigerators and things of that sort that can be utilized to offer a catering event there. In front of the building, you see where the white truck is parked, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go towards the end of all those brick pavers on the right side, there is space there to be able to say, if someone wants to have an event where they invite 200 or 300 people, they can park 3 food trucks right there on that paved area, and there's connections for them, there's everything for them, so that, or 1 food truck, and they want 1 food truck, and be, instead of having a catered event, you could have a food truck vendor being able to spend the evening there and do whatever they want to do from a food truck. We try to think of as much as we could to prepare. The amphitheater area is beefed up in electrical panels and amperage, so that we can make sure that it can power. And we don't want a concert. We just want like acoustics and light, PA systems and things of that sort there. So community garden has not been considered for this facility. We have not, looked at that opportunity. We have not, I don't think we have the space, to be very honest, there for it. I think that a community garden needs a little more attention than this offsite facility would provide, but we're always open to listening to suggestions. Nothing is a no, but we want it to be as natural as possible to our ecosystems that we can. I think creating a vegetable garden might be a little challenging. The cost for holding meetings there will be minimal. If it is a Texas naturalist that want to have a meeting there, I promise you that, you won't have a problem during the day, as long as the room is not used up. It's not going. This is not a money-making facility. If you want to have something in the evening when we're going to have to keep people late or bring security in, you know, that's a little bit different story. We will have to charge a minimal cost for that. But it's going to be so minimal that it is going to encourage folks to want to use this place. That's the way we're looking at it.
David, what's the timeline left for completing the project and opening up?
We are looking at the end of July, you know, to be able to have all our plans in place and the interpretive design work that we're doing and the bird blinds and things of that sort. They can't be done yet because there's a lot of moving equipment out there. So we have to wait for all of these things to kind of dissipate. And we've had like a month of rain. So, you know, the back end has not been able to be finished yet, which is what, you know, or the very front either in the entrance, you know. The hours of operation, we anticipate being minimally 8 to 5 every day, with special occasions allowing it to stay open till whatever time it needs to stay open to, you know. And everything is subject to flux, it's subject to need, it's subject to want, it's subject to what someone else needs it for, you know. The idea, if we could open this place 365 days a year, every evening, and have an event there for a minimal cost, we would support that, you know. The venue tax has given us an opportunity to build this $12.5 million facility. And I do want to tell you all that Commissioner's Court has been extremely, extremely grateful, or I am extremely grateful to them. They have kind of let me loose on this project. Totally. It has been, you know, it's an experience that I've never had in 21 years of being a commissioner with what I've had in working on this project over the last 5 years. You know, they have been 100% supportive of things that we're doing here. It is amazing. It's been, of course, it's not taxpayers' money, so it makes it a little easier for them to agree. You know, I think I saw something that somebody asked about a lab. The water lab is on the far right-hand side of that picture, and we hope that that lab will be accredited to all of the standards that we need. Today, just to give you an example, if you want to take water samples and have them tested, you know, there's only like 3 or 4 major cities in the valley, which is Brownsville, PUB, McAllen, I think Mission, and maybe Edinburgh, that have testing labs that can be utilized for water testing. If anyone else needs testing, you've got to send these samples to San Antonio. You only have a very limited number of hours that the samples can be tested for and have validity to them. I believe the number is 7 hours in most cases. So trying to get a sample to San Antonio, you know, in that time frame is very challenging. So we're going to offer that opportunity and hopefully partner with some local municipalities so that we can generate a little income for the center through that water quality lab.
One thought I just came up with respect to some of these questions. So do you think that by July you will have somebody like a center director, a volunteer coordinator, and those kinds of staff hired?
We hope so. We hope so. You know, we're not rushing into anything. We are trying to do everything that we need to have in place and done before we rush into hiring someone. But we hope that by the end of July, we will have like a director for this place somewhat in place, you know, that will be able to then more formally be working with volunteer groups and visitor, you know, whatever, to be able to get things moving forward, you know. But you know, you have to remember one thing: this project started during COVID. This is the only project that Cameron County has undertaken from the inception to the end during the COVID pandemic. And we were all very reluctant when we started this project because it's funded from venue tax dollars, which is hotel rooms and rental cars in this county. Okay. And everybody was extremely skeptical about how long that revenue stream would last, and if whether or not we would be able to continue the project. Uh, I convinced Commissioners Court that we should move it along, that we should showcase a project, that we're not going to let COVID stop us from doing good work in our county. This would be iconic to, during the pandemic, it started, and hopefully by the end of the pandemic, it's going to be ready and made, and it didn't stop us. We haven't had any cases there on the premises. Workers have been extremely careful. Everybody is temperature checked. Everybody is screened, and we've done great work in maintaining the ability to move this project through very challenging times for the county. I told Robert and Barbara we haven't had a proper groundbreaking because we never wanted to bring people together in large groups to do it. We had a very small groundbreaking with just officials from Cameron County and the officials from Laguna Vista because it was a requirement of the Texas Parks and Wildlife grant. So we did that. But, it's been very difficult for us. It's been very challenging. It's a lot of learning on the job training type of thing with this project. But it can be done. Things can be done. We can overcome pandemics and move things forward.
I think the site's just going to be fantastic. I think we're all chomping at the bit to go out there and experience it. I mean, again, through the comments, it's a great vision, and great ideas, and it's nice to see it without, hey, a Stripes logo on the side or a 20-foot tall neon sign saying, "Hey, buy another T-shirt here." That's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
what you
Well,
guys
there'll
done
be a
is really
sign,
good.
okay? We're working on a sign, but the sign that we're working on will have about it's about a 7 by 12 piece, LED piece, but the rest of the sign is going to be native wood. It's going to be, as unobstructive as possible, okay? But I see, there is no volunteer coordinator yet. We don't have those things in place. Uh, I mean, this is my Friday morning work. This project every Friday morning since 2018, we have a meeting, and every single item, every single word that has gone into this project, every single interpretive sign has basically been vetted, reviewed both in English and Spanish by, professional folks and also local colloquial Spanish folks, and also Texas Parks and Wildlife, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we don't have anything that just doesn't suit their expectations since they've helped us so much. Yes, we want to create an opportunity for artists to display artwork, especially if it's in relation to the native habitat. I think this is be a perfect venue. I
Mhm.
mean, this is what we want. A pet adoption venue? No, we have not. As a matter of fact, we have not encouraged that. There is at the very front of the park, if somebody has a pet, that they can take a pet and stop and relax with them. We love pets. I have pets, but it's not a pet friendly total park because we feel that it's too sensitive an environment to allow for too much of that to occur. Things might change, who knows? But those are our thoughts right now. Okay. um, I'm trying to. The land to the east of Stripes is privately owned. It could be developed into anything by the owners. There's one owner that owns everything between our easternmost border and Stripes. So who knows what will happen there? On the other side to the west is where the city has the property, and they hopefully will. They've adopted some very good, you know, ordinances in their city already to make sure that the t-shirt shops of this world is not going to be what you see before you get to this place. I'm really pleased. Laguna Vista has been fantastic with us in working with them on this. Um, you know, LED lights, non-diffusing lights, all of that stuff is there. Uh, you know, we want to now, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have a wildlife rehab facility? I mean, I have pushed for a marine wildlife facility to happen at the port of Port Isabel and San Benito that have some areas there that could easily be used. We've reached out to the GLO, to the spilled money that they've had, but none of that has come to fruition. But that would be fantastic. I visited a wildlife rehab facility in Costa Rica, which was amazing and very minimal cost. So, you know, talk to the city. People need to give opinions of what they would. Could UTRGV students come up with a logo? If I like it, of course. I'll be very. I've been vetting a lot of things, okay? Because we have some people that come up with some great ideas, and some people that come up with crazy ideas, and there's some people that are out there. They think in a very abstract way, and I applaud them. But if someone, Kate De Janeiro, if you have art students that would be willing to work with coming up with a logo, please, by all means, send it to me. Call me, whatever. We will entertain anything. We have a committee of 5 that have been working on this project since the inception. And we have, as a group, vetted all this stuff, So, I mean, I approve somebody to put something on the screen. I don't know what it is. Annotate it, So, but anyway, we're open. Nothing is in stone except for what you see there. I mean, we've started working on this building. At the end of the day, it's about $12.8 million project. We have had not one change order that has cost us any more money on the project, which is phenomenal, which means that Megamorphosis, that are our design engineers, have planned everything to the T. Every screw, every binder, anything that ties 2 things together is either stainless steel or galvanized aluminum, or in some cases, it's raw steel, because we want to make sure that we have that patina that forms over time with the look and is unobstructive and doesn't have to be continuously painted, So it's interesting, but it's unheard of to not have anything that costs you money to do all this stuff. I've never experienced this before.
Well, David, I want to go ahead and thank you. We'll stop there, and if there's any questions, we'll definitely bring them to you. But on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for this presentation and for all the work that you've been doing obviously for quite a while, and to everybody else in the group. This is fantastic. We can't wait.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity to present, and if there's anyone else that needs to be visited with or whatever on this, I've visited with some Rotary clubs. I visited with some, other folks that have an interest in this, because this is kind of like the best kept secret in the Valley right now. People don't know what's being built out there. What is that thing over there? That's what I get all the time. It says, well, you should, we'll find out,
And
So
definitely.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for sharing your vision, and it's been incredible, and the comments have been so positive. We're all excited to see how we can participate.
I did tell you, Barbara and Robert, I says, as soon as we have the front cleared off from all the construction, I would be more than happy for one afternoon, like at 5-ish, to host any number of you that might want to visit, to gather some ideas of how you can possibly help us with volunteer work that we need to have done there, and maybe start conceptualizing your own ideas of how you can participate, how you can be present there for us, because we will be dependent on a lot of volunteers and a lot of other workers to help us there. You know,
Oh.
we don't intend to have a staff of 20. We intend to have a staff of 3 or 4 people to do all the work and all the landscaping. So we as soon as we clear the front and it's safe for us to be around, I will reach out to you all and see when you can visit.
Fantastic. I mean, we definitely will be
Fantastic.
for that.
Before the grand opening, okay?
Okay.
Commissioner, one last question. This is Tony. You had 2 trails going out toward the Bahia Grande area. When
Yes,
do
sir.
you consider finishing those, or?
The trails will be done on our piece. The connector trail in the Bahia Grande unit, you know, we've spoken with the new manager that just came in over there, and he is diligently working on opening the trails and the amenities for that area. As you will know, Tony, we've been working on that project for 21 years.
Oh, yeah,
You and I were at the first meeting 21 years ago,
we were.
and they promised 5 years from now, 5 years from now, 5 years from now. Well, this is 21 years later, and they said that it would be soon. So hopefully soon they will open those trails. We want to connect. We want to be part of their system. We want to give people every experience that we can to experience native ecosystems in our area. And we have a beautiful one. There's 20,000 acres behind us there, ready to explore. So if you see those folks with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, encourage them to move that forward.
I think the facility deserves your name on it because you've worked so
Tony, you know that my name doesn't go anywhere while I'm still breathing and living in this world.
hard. Thank God.
Not even at the door in my office, okay?
Okay.
No.
Great job.
All right, well,
Commissioner. Thanks.
again, thank you so much, Commissioner David Garza. Great presentation. I'm sure we're all anxious to see it. And everyone, thank you for joining. If you have any questions for Commissioner Garza, let me know, and we can pass that along, and we'll wait for him to get a hold of us, and we'll be eager to go visit.
We'll do an invite, okay? Okay,
All right.
you all have a good evening.
Thank
Thank you,
you
sir. You
so
too.
much
Thank you.
for
Mhm.
presenting.
All right, everyone. If there's any other questions, send me an email. You can ask them now, and if not, thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Robert. It's
Robert.
wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
You bet.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. It's a good meeting.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Jimmy.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you, David.